Hey, what's up? I wasn't gonna do this video because, I don't know, I guess, I find it hard to know when I'm gonna have motivation to do ASMR, I think, sometimes. I still enjoy it, obviously, but I didn't want to make like a where have I been video, just in case I wasn't actually really coming back. Which, I need to know myself, I might not come back. I want to put out good videos to the community, because, I watch so fucking many, and I don't know, I think, it feels good sometimes to do it, but I don't, to be honest, see myself posting super regularly, but I am going to for the time being. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that, but maybe this is a terrible thing to say if you want to promote your channel, which I don't know if I do really, but I think I am going to be here for the time being, and who knows, maybe I'll make a fuck ton of videos and it's going to become a full-time hobby, who knows. But where have I been? The truth is that I've been here this whole time. I'm still in the same apartment I've been in for almost 4 years. I think we're coming to the end. We're coming to the end of our lease together, me and my friends. Which is a happy and a sad thing. I'll get more into that in a bit. But it has been busy. It's been a busy couple years. I suppose, in the year following the last video I made, it was honestly a really happy time. We went on lots of trips. I did lots of skiing because I live in Colorado, so it's very easy to do. I mean, skiing's hard, but like it's easy to ski, like to get out there. Which is cool because I've been skiing for a long time, but I've never really got to do it somewhere very cool before. I'm from a quite sort of working class background where not a lot of people ski. But I have an American dad who grew up next to a mountain. So what we used to do in the UK is, whenever there would be a lot of snowfall, we would go, sometimes in the middle of the night, we would drive up to Scotland, to Ben Nevis, and ski for a few days. And sometimes we would meet with our family in Finland and stay with them while we skied. So I'm very grateful to my parents for that, because it was not, it was very difficult for me to grow up skiing. And it's even more difficult to pick up when you're an adult. So I'm grateful that they found ways for us to do that as kids. Even though it was very difficult and sometimes financially devastating. I'm grateful for those experiences. So I'm very grateful too that I got to ski a lot while living in Colorado, which I still do. During that same year, a lot of weddings, a lot of happy things happened. We all went to Vietnam. I say we all, so me and my 2 roommates and close friends. We went to Vietnam because one of my roommates is from Vietnam. So we went to go see her family, her parents, and meet them. And we met them for the first time, and it was really lovely. They don't speak English, and we don't speak any Vietnamese, so our roommate had to translate. Oh, what was that? It's alright, Gimli. It's okay. It's okay. I startled the puppy. So yeah, we had a great time. We travelled for a while, and it was really nice to know people and to have our friend with us that spoke this native language is Vietnamese. So we got to see a lot of things that maybe a lot of people don't get to, because the language barrier and just sort of knowing people that can take you places. And then this past year has been busy as fuck because, yeah, you probably just heard me talk to him, but we got a puppy. He's technically my roommate's puppy, but my roommate is my best friend of 8 or 9 years. So, I'm very involved with his life. And he lives with me. It's just me and him right now. He's being a bit reactive because I think I explained in another video. A super reactive dog moved in next door, like right across the hallway in our apartment building, and they've been driving each other nuts, just freaking each other out. Gimli's a pretty chill dog, actually. He's a Australian Shepherd. He's very brave. He's 85 pounds, so he's got that like biggest in the litter confidence. But yeah, this dog keeps freaking him out. I think, this dog's obviously really scared, and Gimli's like, fuck, like, what's so scary? But him and I, even though he's not my dog, we're quite close. We have a pretty strong bond because I don't know if anybody's ever raised a puppy before, but you cannot do that by yourself. And we took it pretty seriously, as you should. So we brought him home, and it was like having an infant, a newborn, because we're having to take him out every 2 hours to start potty training him. He was 8 weeks, so we'd have to go out every 2 hours, even in the middle of the night. So it was like we'd had a child together. And so, yeah, I was around a lot more in the beginning, like the first 6 months, because yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job almost, taking care of a puppy, making sure that they are getting what they need, not just like basic needs, but like their training and bonding with them and practicing walking. Hello, have you come to say hello? Or have you come to just get your turkey? Oh yeah, you're napping on the couch, are you? Hi. I love you. I'm gonna leave him be. So yeah, it's been a lot of our time. It's been taking care of the puppy. His name is Gimli. Hi, Gim. And he's about a year. He just turned 1. So he's just a massive puppy now. Not quite a dog. I suppose another thing that's kind of kept us all quite busy is that me and my roommate, we both got into like serious relationships at the same time, sort of. So it's been almost a year for me and my girlfriend, and I think they started dating a few months after we did, and that's been wonderful. Yeah, I've been really happy. But I guess as anybody knows, navigating a serious relationship, especially if it's for the first time. This is my first serious relationship. Everything else before this has been pretty casual. So yeah, falling in love has been, it takes a lot of time and energy, and yeah, you just want to be around them. I just want to be around her. So I guess that's a big reason why I've been busy this year. It's been figuring out what being in love is, and being in a sort of interdependent relationship and navigating what that looks like, and just spending time together, getting to know each other. And I guess another exciting thing is that me and my girlfriend, we went to the UK together in March. For me, it was the first time I'd been back in 7 years. She's actually been to the UK quite a lot. Her mum was a flight attendant for Delta when she was growing up. So she's actually very well travelled because she got a shit ton of free flights as a kid and as a teenager. And now I think too. So we went to the UK, which was a really big deal. It was a big deal for me because I hadn't been back really in like 7 years, which is a long time to be away from your home. And but it's also a big deal because she met my whole family at the same time, which is a lot for a significant other to do, but it's kind of unavoidable when you live in a different continent. You kind of have to meet everyone while you're there. And I have a big family with a lot of very big personalities, and I'm also the oldest in my family, so a lot of my cousins are small children still. I'm a good 20 years older than some of my cousins, and there's a lot of us. We're all very close though, so it's hard being away, but it was really wonderful to spend time together. And we were all in London together, which is where our family is from originally. I only have a handful of relatives still in London because it's fucking expensive. Yeah, it was really lovely. It was really lovely just like hanging around the old stomping grounds and just seeing everybody, spending time together, doing fun things together. Just catching up really, and it was amazing to introduce my girlfriend. They really loved her, obviously, because she's the best, and she really got along great with them. And it was just an amazing time. We also went to my hometown, where I grew up, which is Ipswich. Come On You Blues, which was really fun. We stayed with some friends, my childhood best friend and her family, and her sister was in town visiting because it was over Easter, so we had Easter lunch with them. Yeah, basically just showed my girlfriend around where I used to hang out as a kid, and showed her around the town, and showed her the park and the school I went to, and it was obviously we mainly just hung out at the pub. I'm not gonna lie, we were there for about 2 days. It was a quick trip. We were only in the UK for about a week, because Americans get notoriously no time off, which is true. Our work is slightly better than where most people work. We work in completely different fields, but I work for a unionised job and she's pretty successful, so there's a bit more flexibility for us, but still we only got a week. So everything was very quick. So in Ipswich we mainly just hung out at the pub, which for me is the Woolpack. It's a sort of it's a place I grew up going to. It's very neighbourhoody, very old, obviously, like most pubs in the UK, but it's just kind of a hangout spot, so you end up seeing a lot of people you know. And I grew up going there as a kid. It's a very kind of, bring everyone and your mum kind of joint. So we met a lot of people at the pub, and then after inundating my girlfriend with my entire previous life, including old friends, my godmother, and various other family friends, school friends, and my entire family, she was very much owed some time just for the two of us. Even though she had a great time meeting people and doing stuff with them, we needed some time, just the two of us. So we decided to go down to Eastbourne for a few days and spend some time by the seaside. So we found an Airbnb right on the waterfront, on the Brum, and that was lovely. So we explored kind of the seafront of Eastbourne. It was lovely and wet the whole time. Just the full 9 yards British experience. just got absolutely pissed on whenever we try to go outside and do anything naturey, which we personally love. I don't know, there's something about it, it's so moody, in a fun way. I think I'm quite a broody sort of person, so I personally like the rain, which is kind of ironic because the climate I live in is technically an alpine desert in Colorado, but it means it's very sunny here, which I also like. But we went to Eastbourne, which meant that we went to, obviously, you gotta go to those beautiful white cliffs. Seven Sisters is mainly where we were at, but Beachy Head is also there, which is gorge. And yeah, we had a lovely time doing some hikes in the rain. It was very dramatic. We kept making a lot of Pride and Prejudice jokes because it does feel like that, very dramatic. And yeah, lesbians love the joke, love to reference Pride and Prejudice, this kind of thing. We also kept joking that we were historically close friends, going to the seaside together because it felt very sort of Ammonite-esque. If you've seen that gay movie, it's very just, I don't know, aesthetically that's what it seemed like. And yeah, I think life's just been a lot of spending time with people. I've been really trying to catch up with all my friends, and plan for the future. I'm applying to grad school at the moment. I'm applying to a lot of programs, but I'm looking at FMT programs. So I'd like to be a licensed marriage and family therapist. Because I want to be a therapist. I think eventually I do want to be a psychologist, but I don't want to be a young doctor. That's just not for me. I don't know. I work in mental health now, and there is often a massive disconnect between client need and people who have just gotten all their education before actually working with clients. I think if you're hoping to work in a sort of outpatient setting, you're probably going to be okay. But I work in residential, which is, but it's a crisis services program, and you gotta be using some completely different paradigms. Than things that you learn in grad school. I think that they can accompany each other fine, but you have to be very flexible when you're thinking. And the population that I work with is a very historically oppressed group of people. So I work with predominantly unhoused people, homeless people. Some people are really picky about what you use, but I think it's just being sensitive, I think, so, because it differs person to person. Some people don't like being called homeless, some people do. So that's who I work with, and homelessness, it overwhelmingly affects people of colour, and it almost exclusively affects people with very serious mental illnesses. And I don't like to, quantify mental illness by severity, but I guess it would be the kind of acuteness where, you're not really able to function in ways that you would want, in kind of typical society. So things like schizophrenia make it very hard to function with other people. For obvious reasons. I think any mental illness that kind of has psychotic features, they are disproportionately affected by homelessness. And they're complicated cases. I think it requires a lot of different kind of treatment at the same time, which people don't get, especially if they're from kind of minority communities. So that's who I work with, and I go into this tangent because when I started this job, I realized very quickly that I really needed to grow a lot in my understanding of mental illness, and I needed to challenge myself to see things a bit differently to how things were taught in undergrad. I could do a whole video on it, but I waited 4 years out of undergrad to do grad school because I realised how much I was learning just from listening to people. I know that sounds really obvious, but I think that's what's really lacking in grad school and in PsyD or PhD programs, is that even if you are doing clinical work, it's in a clinical setting with a power imbalance, an immediate power imbalance. Whereas when I'm talking to them as not a therapist, just an RC, a residential counsellor, you get the unfiltered truth, which is sometimes really hard to hear. People don't mince words in this community typically. I think it's a lot of just listening to people and asking what they need rather than fixating on what's wrong with them, so to speak. And honestly, a lot of things I've learned is that the mental illnesses that people experience, or the manifestations of mental illness that people experience, are extremely proportionate to what they're going through. I know that sounds maybe obvious too, but I don't know if you're familiar with the US at all, or if you're familiar with how unjust the system is here. I think that a lot of it is a very reasonable response to an extremely sick, unwell system. And I think I'm very grateful. That's not to say that I think that we shouldn't help people, we shouldn't treat people. Of course we should, but you can't do that unless their basic needs and dignities are met first. And that comes with so much else, but basically, yeah, that's why I've waited so long. But I'm ready for a change. I'm constantly battling burnout because a lot of what we see and deal with is very traumatic, which is part of it. I really enjoy it, but you can't do it forever. Your body just can't cope forever. So I'm looking to move on, I think, eventually, and a good way to do that is to go to grad school, because you have more options afterwards about, what kind of job you want to be working. I love this community. I love the unhoused community. I'm so grateful to them. They've made me who I am today. But I can't unfortunately work with them forever. I've realised I need to be part of, I need to be able to facilitate someone's sort of mental health recovery a lot better, because right now we're just kind of trying to get people resources so that they can get their basic needs met in order to address their mental health, and rather than just sort of mitigating it, helping them cope with symptoms while they're gathering resources. That's not good for me long term. It's not good for anyone long term. I think you need to see people get better. Good boy. Yeah, that's basically it. I need to see people get better, which I don't. I hear about it, but I want to help people get better, feel better, and that's what's next for me. My girlfriend and I are also thinking about perhaps moving to London together for a bit, which is why this lease is ending. I think so. My roommate and best friend, he is hoping to move in with his girlfriend, which is very sweet. It's been very wonderful to watch their relationship develop from close by, as anyone who's watched their friend fall in love can attest to. So he's hoping to move in with her. Obviously Gimli will go with him, which is sad, but the way it was always going to be and the way it should be, because he's going to get a yard. We do live right by a massive park, so it's not, he isn't suffering, but I think it would be nice for him to just go outside whenever he feels like it and have a bit of a run around, rather than having to wait for like big walks a couple times a day. So I'm excited for him for that. And yeah, my girlfriend and I are hoping to move in together. We're playing it by ear. We're not putting any undue pressure on ourselves. I think we know we want that, but the when is to be determined. It's only been a year, which is long for most gay women, but I don't know. But yeah, I think we're hoping to move to London maybe in about like 9 months. A lot depends on her getting a job in London, or with an American company that has an office in London that can sponsor her visa, because I cannot. It's much easier to get a work visa, but also like, I don't know, we'd have to get like married for me to like be able to get her like yeah, I don't know what they do in the UK. In the US, if you're not a citizen and you're married to an American citizen, you get a green card. I can't remember what they call it in the UK, but yeah, that's exciting. I haven't lived in the UK as an adult before, so it's going to be really funny feeling like a foreigner, you know, learning the ropes and not learning how shit works and what we call things and, you know, adult things. I don't know. I just feel like I'm very British in a lot of ways, but I've spent my entire adult life so far. I mean, I'm pretty young, but I've spent my entire adult life in the US. So, and I don't think I sound very American, so I think it's gonna be funny to like show up like I've just been asleep for the past 10 years. So how does this work? I've got to open a bank account. So that's exciting. I think we're ready for that next step together. I think we're ready to try something new. And she's not very happy here. It was never her choice to come here. She came for an ex who had got into a grad program out here, so I think she's ready to go somewhere that she would actually choose to live, and I respect that a lot. I do see that this isn't a good fit for her, so I think we're excited for what's next. this turned out to be way longer than I thought it would. I went on a total ramble. But yeah, I hope everybody's been doing well. I'm gonna really try and make more videos because I do really enjoy it. I think I don't need it to be perfect. I don't think I ever really have, because I never fucking learned how to edit. But yeah, we'll see. Take good care. Be kind to yourself. Get into a bit of trouble. Do things that make you happy. Do things that make others happy. And fight the power. I don't fucking